So what have you learned most by being part of the art community?
That is a good question. I think that largely people are they want you to succeed. I'll say it like that. That like they recognize, people in general can recognize hard work, and that they want to succeed and they want to help you succeed any means they can. Like often people will really, really appreciate my stuff, but like the prices of my originals, they take so long. So the prices are kind of intense. So they'll like buy a small card or a sticker just because they want to support me. So any way
Yeah.
they can, they want to help. And that's really, really nice.
What's your favorite painting you've ever created? What's it
Oh,
about, or like what's it inspired by?
that is a question I haven't thought about. I have this one on my Instagram. It's a square canvas that I've turned like a diamond. So it's supposed to sit on the wall like a diamond. And it's called Lone Peak. I mean, the painting is called Big Sky, but the mountain in the painting is Lone Peak. And that's based on the mountain in Montana. And the sky is really lovely. It like goes from a very light blue on top, and then as it transitions down the diamond, it gets like darker, and the dots kind of like flow out of it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, it's that one.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be on YouTube. Oh man. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Oh man.
So that one's probably still my favorite, and I've managed to hang on to it so far.
How long did it take to create?
That one was a fast one. That one's pretty small. So maybe like 40 hours, 50 hours.
Okay.
I've got some bigger ones. Like this bright pink one. It's like 3 feet by 4 feet. And it took 3 months of my life and like 200 hours.
Really?
It was intense.
This is the one, did you take a photo of it in Grand Teton?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the one.
Teton Range. It's really big. It took
3 months.
Long. Yeah, 3 months, and I hated it. By the time I was done, I'm like, screw this.
So how many I don't want to say mistakes, but how many times do you have to like paint over something? Or
that's a legit question. Sometimes I get tired and I'm doing my dots and I'll like drag my hand through a wet area, and it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I like cry, or do I quickly try and like fix this? Because it's like, it doesn't, so you've painted a background color and then a bunch of dots on that. Like, I mean, if you mess it up, I hope I can recreate the background color I have going on, like match it like exactly. If not, I try and like get like a wet towel and kind of like scrape off the wet paint. And I've gotten a lot better in that. I don't make too many mistakes now. That's maybe sounds a little cocky, but after a couple 100,000 dots, you kind of get it down.
Yeah. See, I think, yeah, anything with practice you get better at, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, these are all really cool. I like.
Thank you.
Like them.
I think a recent one, the Matterhorn, it's this big blue one. The dots are a little different. They're more like 3D and they look wet even after they dry. I think I'm going to like transition to something more like that.
Wait, say that again?
There's one on my Instagram. It's fairly recent. It's of the Matterhorn.
Is it a video or?
Oh yeah, I mean, I made a couple of reels.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're supposed to do on Instagram, right?
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
That's yeah, the wrong person. Yeah.
Like that one. I think I'm going to make them look more like that probably going forward. And then I put gold leaf into it. So the pictures don't really do it justice, but like light will kind of like, it captures the light and it'll like shimmer a little bit, kind of where you're standing. So it's pretty cool.
So Matterhorn, is that in the Swiss Alps?
Yeah. It's like the Toblerone chocolate, kind of the stereotypical Swiss mountain.
Yeah, this is cool. So why did you transition from like more, or why do you think you would transition more to this kind of, you said like 3D kind of, not 3D, but like more?
I mean, yeah, they are more 3D. They're really, it's kind of cool cool to touch it actually. And it's also a little faster. If I don't do patterns as much, it's faster to create. And because I get kind of bored, like doing this dot after dot after dot, it can be a lot. Like I like it, but it's a lot. And so this way, I apply the dots differently. I don't stamp them one at a time. I get this like big squeeze bottle of paint almost, and I don't know how to describe that well.
Wow.
You almost like squeeze it and you get a little dot, and then you move on to the next one really pretty quickly.
Yeah, this other one, Twin Peaks Wilderness. It's I think it's the second post on.
Oh yeah.
That one's cool.
Yeah, that one's the same kind of thing. So the dots, they dry shiny, and so they look still wet. But those little paintings I've started doing as more of like this. It's like a more affordable kind of thing for people who want original art, but aren't going to drop a couple grand. Yeah.
Is there a gallery or a museum that you would like dream of having your art displayed in?
You've been to Park City. There's a couple fancy ones up there that I would love. Being from Wyoming, Jackson Hole is like our art place. And so I would love to have some stuff up there.
Jackson. What do you know much about Jackson Hole?
I mean, I know enough. I mean, I was just there in July, I think. It's fun. It's expensive for sure. As someone from Wyoming, we say that the billionaires push the millionaires out. Like
it's like the most expensive zip code in the United States, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or right up there.
It's insane. There's a lot of money up there. So I was very fortunate to be invited to an art show this summer there, and it was lovely.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, shifting gears a little bit to music, who are 3 musical artists in your heavy rotation right now?
So I like more alternative music in that I speak all these languages, right? And so I've been exposed to some different bands that people have no idea about. There's this Kenyan band.
Yes, tell me about this.
They sing in both English and Swahili, but they're really bumping. They're called Sauti Sol. Man, it's a ton of fun. It's like a party every time you listen to them.
How do you spell Sauti?
It's Sauti.
Okay.
And then soul is SOL. It's so in East Africa, there's this genre called bongo flavor. And there's a lot of good artists that are a part of it, but Saudi Soul is my favorite. They have like consistently, their albums are really decent. They're really good. And so.
Wow. Okay. What's another one?
Oh, you broke up. But the next one is they're Brazilian, but they sing in Portuguese, right? So it's called Lagum. It's Lagum. And that's more of like a lighter, like indie alternative. Like it's more chill. It's not as like intense. If you just want to like hang out and chill out, they're great. Yeah. And then finally, I felt like I needed a good American like group. I shouldn't have all these like very obscure international ones. I like Glass Animals.
Glass Animals. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know about them?
I do. One of my coworkers, I bartend on the weekends, and she goes to all these different shows, and she's I don't want to say obsessed with Glass Animals, but she's definitely gone to we have a music venue next door to our restaurant, and she's gone there like hours beforehand to be like front row, and she's met them and taken photos with all of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
really cool. It's good stuff. It's kind of funky. I don't know, it's definitely out there some of the time, but
yeah, I have to listen to it a little bit more.
Yeah, get into it. It's nice.
Actually, are there any other international artists you'd recommend?
A good German one, he's called Clouseau. It's like Clueso. You know, back in the day, he's not that old. A few years ago, he was more like, it was more acoustic and kind of chilled out. And now I think he's gained quite a bit of popularity, so it's turning more poppy.
Okay.
But still pretty good. Still pretty good. Yeah, that was gonna be my third, but I'm like, glass animals. We should sneak that in there.
Glass animals. Nice. What are, or who are three people or things that have influenced your outlook on life?
I think a lot of my outlook has been influenced by traveling.
Okay.
I generally think that traveling is a good way to like open your eyes to different way things are done and to challenge yourself. It's definitely like traveling is the funnest and the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, because I don't go to easy places, right?
It doesn't sound like it.
I went and I lived in Colombia by myself with very little Spanish, and people are like, "Is that really what you want to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and it was fine. And I went all around the country, and it was lovely, but it was hard. Like knowing, like, okay, I've got to communicate that I need this bus ticket for this time, and am I really going to understand where I need to go? And so it's hard, but it really just, it like opens your eyes to like different ways of life too, right?
It's pretty humbling, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like seeing people in a lot of it in Colombia, but also in Tanzania and Ghana, where they didn't necessarily always have a lot, but that they were very willing to give you anything and everything they could. It's really, really humbling.
What do you notice traveling around the world and meeting people? What's something you see in common with humans and that makes you think about like your experience as a human being?
Everyone largely just wants, it feels like they just want to be happy and to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's, you can be happy with a whole lot less than what we have here. But like, even like the Germans, you think of Germans as these very like stoic and cold people, but nah, they're not. You get to know them and they're just a ton of fun. They just want to like hang out, drink a beer, and they're chilling. And same with Tanzania. Swahili's a fun language and you can really joke around with it. And so they just want to like laugh and yeah, it's just everyone wants to feel happy, maybe. I don't know. Is that cheesy?
I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty true and universal, I would say.
Yeah.
Are there places you want to go to next?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about like Thailand maybe for Christmas. Like I really want to see the country, the different like the like temples and the mountains of the country, and also eat some really good food.
Yeah.
Really good food. And then I don't know. I'm reading a book right now. I just started it, so I couldn't even tell you what it's called, but it's like based in Armenia. And I hadn't even thought about Armenia much, but maybe I'd go there. That'd be cool.
Yeah. How many countries have you been to?
Good question. I was trying to count the other day after Ghana, and I think around maybe a little over 20.
20.
So not too many, but I mean, I feel
He's
like
also lived at some of these places.
Yeah. So it just gives you a whole just really in-depth knowledge of a place. Like
Absolutely. I asked you before if you have like a list or like a bucket. Do you have a list of travel or like just generally in life things you want to do?
I do, yeah. I haven't visited it for a while, but it was like crazy stuff, like I don't know, like go skydiving. And I actually did that for a birthday a couple years ago. I'm like, I'm gonna just do it. I was just sitting around. I'm like, this isn't right. And so I drove. I was in Florida, and I went and I found a place and I went skydiving. Because that's what you do. Check it off the box. And it was intense. So yeah, there's generally maybe in my head more of like places I want to go and things I want to see and experience. But I'm definitely like very driven. Like I don't like to be bored. So I will go and I will do the next thing, and I will go and I'll find those different experiences.